So I'm the oldest of five. I have two brothers, two sisters, and growing up, we had, I guess you could say, a rough upbringing, but at the time we didn't know it, and we grew up like that, and that's what it was. And so as we all got older, I unfortunately went off and was incarcerated, and you know, I always wanted to be there though for my brothers and sisters. They was really important to me. I even got all of their names tatted on me at one point in time, and I really loved them. I guess to the point like I would even look at them as like my kids. So we all got older and everybody did their own thing, and unfortunately, my brothers as well ended up they had their own experiences with the system, and my middle brother, he struggled for quite some time, and it was a trip because after coming home, you have this idea of what life's gonna be like, all the family coming back together and being together, and but then everybody's dealing with their own stuff, and so my grandma was passing away, and I called my brother, and he's out there doing his thing at that time, running around, and I tell him, "Hey, fool, I gotta leave. Grandma's in the hospital." He's like, "I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there." He's doing his thing. He's dealing with whatever he's dealing with at the time. So whatever, I tell him, "Hey, I'm gonna leave in an hour. If you don't get here, I'm gone. I'm jamming. I'm going to the hospital." So he doesn't make it. I get to the hospital. My grandma passes away, and we have to do the cremation and everything. Then we have to tell my other brother who was in prison at the time. We had to call his counselor so that he can get a phone call and call home, and we had to break the news to him, and we did that together. We were at actually the cemetery trying to arrange everything, and we both did that together, and that felt really good that I had my brother with me through that moment in time. Shortly after that, my tia dies, and it was a rough time. We're dealing with at that time we were dealing with some, death, and it's hard to go through that alone. And so I call my brother, and I'm like, "Hey, I need you here. We're about to. I have to go. I have to go deal with the with the cremation and get all the arrangements taken care of. I need you here." And so, he comes, boom. So we're going together. He's moral support for me. And I'm frustrated. I'm going through a lot. I'm also judging him because he's going through his own journey, and I'm over here judging him, watching him, his every little move. And he's on his phone all the time and dealing with whatever he's dealing with. And so we get there, and the lady's trying to offer me all these different options to bury my aunt. Of course, it's priced way too high. You know what I mean? It's thousands and thousands of dollars and shit. And it's like a used car dealership. They're saying, "Well, I got this coffin, or I got this urn," and I'm frustrated. I'm stressed out, and then I'm looking at my brother, and I'm judging his every move. Right? I'm watching him. He's on his phone the whole time, and then so the lady's she's showing me this urn, and I don't remember exactly the price, like $7,000 or whatever for this urn. She's like, "I got this urn, it's like $7,000." And I'm over here so focused on him. I'm like, "Man, homie, I want to tell him, like, hey, fool, pay attention. Like, be there for me, right?" And he's on his phone. He's right there on his phone, and he's going through things. And then, I wanted to kick him under the table. And the lady's over here. "I got this urn for $7,000, and I'm just weak in the knees, right?" And then my brother's on his phone, and then he goes, "Well, check this out. I just put up that same urn, and we can get it for $29.99, right?" And I'm like, damn, my brother, he came through for me, in the midst of everything he's going through and dealing with. And here I am judging him on this urn, or I mean, on this moment in time, and he comes through with the urn. And I thought that was really special, and it was he came through at the right moment. He came in clutch. And so, without further ado, welcome to the Say Less podcast, powered by Tepito Coffee. And we're sitting here with Raymond, and we're just gonna get right into it.
Let's do it.
Right. So that moment, that moment with the urn, right? Did you know that I was tripping? Did you know that I was kind of on your bumper? And
You've always been on my bumper. So I mean, it goes without saying. Like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Has it always been like that since we were young?
Yeah.
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 Like how so? Tell me
Like
more.
he's just always been like on me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just always been like, but we've always been close, but always like, it's more like, I don't know. It's like, do as I say, not as I do.
I do. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, who else am I supposed to follow?
Yeah. You know what's crazy about that too, though? You're right, because I made a lot of mistakes, and I remember when I don't know if you remember this, but when you were young, I would always say a smart man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man
learns from others.
from the mistakes of others, right? And yet here I was making all these mistakes, hoping that you were gonna pick up the wisdom of don't do what I'm doing, but that's just not how it works, huh?
No,
You know,
that's not life.
that's not life.
Yeah.
It's actually you're gonna kind of do exactly
Yeah.
what I was doing, right?
Well, I mean, I think it's because you did exactly what you saw, what they showed you, you know, the examples you had. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens, you know, as humans, we do that, you know, especially when it's like we're looking for something,
Yeah.
you know, and the thing that we find that we want is doing something that we want to do it too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely something that, you know, I guess a lesson that you learn that like, fuck, is the next generation gonna follow in my footsteps? So let me change it.
Yeah. When did you have that realization?
I had that realization, I want to say 4 years ago.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, oh shit. I believe I was, so I mean, people get offended the way I talk. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna talk like me. So I was loaded out of my mind, dope sick, in Almani at the bus station, at the bus stop. And I was just tired, you know, and then I realized like, damn, like, you know, and it's funny, right? Because you remember Jerry, right? Little homie Jerry from Grape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was with him like, I want to say a month before we were talking, right?
Okay.
And he had always told me, he goes, damn, fool, like, why didn't you just become the navigator for the youth? He goes, because, you know, like out of all of the people that was working in the youth program, you were the one that we actually liked, that we listened to. You know, you would talk to us real, and you wouldn't sugarcoat it, and you wouldn't talk to us like if we were kids, right?
You were clean and sober at that time?
Yeah, I was clean and sober at that time, one of those times. And then, so it's like, yeah, I was listening to him, and it's like, damn, like, and I never realized like how many people looked at me, you know what I mean? Or, you know, and that's when I started to realize, like, I was sitting there at that bus station at 3 a.m, and then that's when like all of that hit. And that's when I knew I was just tired, you know, and
I'll take that.
thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Oh, this is
That's
really
good.
good. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah.
But going back to like some of these realizations that we have, like, you know, yours happened to be at that bench that night.
Yeah.
And when you were thinking about, you know, something needs to change, when did you get to the point of you knew exactly what needed to be changed?
I guess it was, I guess that last time in treatment,
Okay.
you know, I'm there and it's like, okay, I want to change. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was, so when I went to Homeboys, right, I walk in and Emily wants to send me to treatment, and I'm like, I haven't used in 3 days. I'm good. I just need a sober living. And she's like, no, you need fucking rehab. And I was like, I wanted to cuss her out. I walked out, and then I ended up saying, fuck it, let's go, right? So I went to
Speaking to the mic, make sure. Yeah.
I went to House of Iruhu
Okay.
in South Central, right? Beautiful place right on Figueroa. You know what I mean? You can go in there, get sober, and also get a hooker. And so it's I went there, then I got kicked out like shit the next day.
Why?
You know, oh well, somebody has a big mouth, you know what I mean? I don't know how to like not be rude to somebody that's rude to me. Right? Like, I'm very respectful, but when I think you're in the wrong, I'm gonna let you know. And it's like, don't come at me sideways. If I ain't coming at you sideways, I'm sick and I'm dope sick and I'm trying to get help and you want to yell at me. So I'm gonna tell you, you know, exactly what you are. And that's what I told the lady. And next thing you know, she was waking everybody up, calls the cops, and I'm like, fuck, I just went to sleep. So But as I left that place, right, and I'm sitting right there and I'm looking at everybody getting high, and I'm like, damn, I should just get loaded and I'll be all right. But I didn't. And
What stopped you, you think, that time?
I gave up. I was tired. I just didn't want it. I realized like, damn, every time I do it, it's like I always go back to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went back to Homeboys that Tuesday, Emily was like, she comes out, she goes, what happened? I go, they kicked me out. She was like, well, you ready to go again? And for the first time, I didn't bug or didn't say, try to have it my way. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's when she got me into that last one,
Which one was that?
that Positive Steps in Downey.
Okay.
And
What was that like?
that one was like, it was during COVID, so it was like you couldn't do nothing, you couldn't leave nowhere.
But that might have been kind of good, huh?
No, it really
Right?
was, right? Like, they would take us to the 7-Eleven, and it was all right. It was cool, you know what
Like
I mean?
you guys would go on walks together to
Yeah.
7-Eleven?
And
What were the first days like?
the first days were, well, I mean, I got there and, as soon as I got there, I actually got into an argument with the lady that sat at the front desk, right? Because I just told her I'm here for my appointment, and I'm a little bit earlier. She goes, what appointment? I'm like, what the fuck? I go, I don't know. You made the appointment for me. I don't fucking know. Like, and so, she kind of, I was like, but she had just got into an argument with somebody else. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you bark at me, I'm going to bark back. But shit, I'll bite, And so she was being rude, and she goes, well, have a seat. I sat down, and I just opened up the book that G gave me, and I just started
What book
reading.
was it?
It was the second one. It was
Bargain to the
Bargain
Choir?
to the Choir.
Did you read the whole
I
book?
read the whole book. Yeah, it was.
What was
a
that
really
like?
good book. His books, I mean, reading books, like
You always read them.
yeah, I've
right?
always read, but none of the books ever, like all the books I read have taught me or interested me, right? But his books always touched me. You know what I mean? Like I felt connected. And it's like reading it, it's like I knew, it's like, damn, I'm reading about myself, right? And most of the stories that he has, right, it's like, damn.
Like you could relate to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's...
You put yourself in that person's shoes, huh?
I didn't even have to. It's like he put me in there.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so,
Do you remember when I would send you books?
Yeah.
From Juvenile Hall and stuff?
Yeah, you sent me Mobbed Up, and you sent me The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I would always think about you when I was busted because I knew that you liked to read. So if I ever came across a good book, and it's kind of fucked up because you're not supposed to send books, right? Because these are books that circulate.
Yeah.
Like you get a good book in there, you want to pass it around, and everybody wants to read it. But I didn't give a fuck. I was stingy. I'm sending this to my brother.
Hell yeah, fuck
So
him.
I'd get the book and read
Well,
it.
you did pass it around, but not
I
in
mean,
there.
I shot it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
You know
you
what I mean?
remember when I sent you that whole book series of Left Behind?
Yeah.
It was like 12 books, 10 or 12
It's 12
books.
books.
Yeah. But you know what? I didn't care because it is really a thing in there. Like you're not supposed to keep anything or send anything home.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I would read a book and I would think about you. Like, I know this fool would love this book. The Godfather was one though, for sure.
Oh yeah, I read that book like 10 times.
That was a thick book, huh?
It is a thick book.
How
It's
many?
3 books in one book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember reading that book, and because the book is better than the movie.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
It gives you more detail and it explains it. And you could actually feel the emotions in
Yeah,
the
like
book.
what they're thinking,
Yeah.
what they're considering. Like if a situation, like in the movie, you see what happens, it plays out. But in the book, you get their thoughts.
Yes.
You get like their actual, their insight, their intentions, why they're doing certain things. And that's why I love books more than, I mean, of course I watch movies.
Yeah,
but
the movies, I mean, I love when a movie does justice to the book.
exactly.
And
Godfather 1 is actually a movie that does do
It does,
justice.
it does.
Yeah.
Yes,
Godfather
it does.
2 is cool, but
Yeah.
Godfather 3 they
Well, I read those Godfather 2 and 3 books. They're good. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh, the books?
yeah, they actually have the books.
Okay. That's Mario Puzo, huh?
It's Mario Puzo, but it's other writers with him.
Okay.
So it's like he's there.
first
and
one, though, is just
first
Mario
one's just
Puzo.
him. That
Yeah.
was the one that got him off the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was already poor, bankrupt, and then
I didn't
that
know
book
much
just-
about him.
Yeah, well, actually, there's a series on Paramount Plus that actually is called The Offer. It's about the director who actually gets the opportunity to make that movie.
Okay.
And then and then it tells about Mario Puzo trying to like.
So the one that directed the movie wasn't Mario Puzo.
No, Mario Puzo was connected and very hands on with the movie. So if you love The Godfather, I definitely recommend watching
The Offer. Okay, I remember you telling me about that. I got to check that out.
Yeah, and it goes into everything. When
did
happened.
you like fall in love with reading?
I want to say it was in kindergarten.
Okay.
Actually, at Yerbita, remember? Who was it? My teacher. She taught me how to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
And yeah, she taught me the first book I ever read was The Caterpillar.
Okay.
And so the story's about this caterpillar who it tells about its journey to become a butterfly.
All right.
And it's crazy, right? Because you talk about transformation in that story, right? But as a kid, you don't realize it. It's just cool, right?
Yeah.
And but it's that's the first book I read, right? And it's like you can actually, if I remember correctly, that book you can actually compare it to life, because you go through, the caterpillar went through struggles just to get into his cocoon and to transform into something that was beautiful, right? And I see that especially at Homeboys, and especially in our lives and in the lives people who that I deal with every day, even in the rooms of recovery. It's like we are all caterpillars trying to find our cocoon. You know what I mean? And
that's just deep, dog.
Yeah, right. And it's crazy how that is the first book I ever read. Not knowing that my life was going to go the way it did and go through all of this stuff, just to come out at the end and, be something that I never thought I would.
Tell me more about that when you were a young caterpillar. Because look, this is the interesting thing about life is you can have, 5 people, 5 of us, grow up in the same household and yet have a whole different experience and have a different response, right?
Yeah.
What was it like from your point of view growing up, being that young caterpillar? And then we're going to get to like the cocoon and when you found your cocoon. But tell me what it was like growing up and how your experience, shaped you and what your experience was actually like.
For me, it felt like I was not seen. I always felt not part of, different, and like less than.
Okay.
Definitely there was love in the house, but you could also feel that the love wasn't just like, there was not enough for you, it felt like. And you see it in the actions, right? Because it's like, I'm a firm believer, even at that age, that actions speak louder than our words, right? And you could see it, and I felt it. And so that's why I always felt like, I have to be more, I have to get involved. But it's like, it was never coming. It felt like everybody would have me there, but then push me aside.
And what's the trip is, as you say that, it kind of makes sense, because if I was the oldest, right, getting in trouble, and to be honest, not intentionally, but like taking the attention, because it's like, okay, Jose's locked up again, or where's Jose, or when's Jose's coming home, or we got to go visit Jose, and it's like, right?
Well, yeah, and actually, you're the first person I learned a valuable lesson through you with Mom, right? Like she taught me something I'll never ever forget, right? She taught me that it's, whether you tell or you don't tell, you're gonna get your ass beat anyways, right? And she would always ask, "Where's your brother?" And the first time I told her, "Oh, he's outside with his friends, either down the block, whatever," she smacked the shit out of me. She goes, "That's for talent." Then another time she goes, "Where's your brother?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then she beat my ass for not telling her. So I learned that either way, you're gonna get your ass beat.
Yeah.
So it's better just to keep your mouth shut and fucking, because I remember you got mad that I told her. And so it's like, all right, well, I might just keep my mouth shut, because there's no point in telling, because I'm going to get fucked up. And then he's going to be mad at me. And it's like, I'd rather just have one person mad at me who's always mad at me anyways, than have the person who's cool with me mad at me. So it's like, I learned that at a very young age. So it's like, okay, now it's like, I don't know shit. Beat my ass, go ahead. Yeah, shit.
It's a trip, because I used to always see you quiet and always reading. The house would be getting shot up, boom, you're reading. The pad's getting raided, you're reading. And I never really thought about that. Like, I always just thought Ray Ray's okay. Like, Ray Ray's good. Ray Ray's smart. He does good in school. I could see him, he's quiet, he sticks to himself, which I thought, okay, you're gonna be safe. because you're not, and I didn't want that, straight up. And I know it's hard to probably understand.
Well, the problem and something that I learned in life is that the person who's always quiet is the one that's going through the things the most.
Mm-hmm.
And reading was like an escape, right? And that's where I knew like I needed to get out of everything. And that's where I found my first escape was reading, was to get out of my own mind, out of reality, right? Create another reality, right? And then as you get older, it is like with anything, any substance or anything that you do to try to get that escape, it stops working. So you find something else.
When did it stop? When did reading stop working for you?
Around 10.
Yeah. Tell me more about that. What happened?
Because things started getting a little bit more different, as you get older, and then it's like, you're moving different places. And I think Fresno was another one where it's like, it was kind of hard because then you're somewhere else now and people hate you because you're not from there. And it's like, that was the first time I ever experienced something like that. Okay. And so it's like, oh, you hate me? Well, cool, I hate you. And then that's when you got to understand what hate really is. And I think that's what started to change was the hate. You
start to develop it. You start to feel it there.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I did too. I think in my own different way, of course, because I was older than you. But just you saying that, like somebody hates you because of where you're from, but they don't even know you.
Yeah.
They don't even know what you're going through.
Yep.
They don't even know, like, fuck, you don't want to be here just as much as they don't want you here. And I remember feeling that because it's like, oh, I don't want to be here neither. I don't want to be sleeping on this floor. I didn't want to move to this city.
Yeah.
And then coming outside, it's like these fools hate you, and so I can relate to that a lot. Yeah. And so what did you do at that time when you started to feel that hate, I do feel though at that time too, I did feel close with all of us together because it felt like we had to be.
Yeah.
It's like, because when you step outside, nobody likes us. And it's like, okay, well, all we got is in this house. Because I felt it with Paul a little bit more up there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like down here, I never felt like he had me. Even though like you're my uncle, we're from the same hood. Because the truth is, like, growing up, I would always think like, okay, I got from the hood. I look at Paul like this fool's masculine. I want this fool to like protect me in a sense. You get me? Like, I want this fool to be like, I got you, nephew. You're from my hood now, and it wasn't even like I'm gonna teach you how to navigate this shit. It was nothing. Mm-hmm. It was no conversation. It was nothing. But it seemed like up there, when it was the neighbors hated us, everybody hated us, it was like I felt like I could count on him. Mm-hmm. I felt like, okay, even though you don't like me, we did fight a lot up there. We did fight with each other a lot up there, but I just felt like he was there for me more. Did you feel that too, or not? Like we were there for each other more, or no?
I did a little bit. I did feel like we were closer up there. But I guess it was just a different experience for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. It was something new, like, because I remember we would just go up there once a year or twice, and it'd be sporadic. Never once thinking we're gonna live up there.
So when you say that you start to develop that hate, like, tell me more. At 10 years old, what were some of the things that started to happen in your life and some of the decisions you started to make?
It was the fact that oh shit. I guess for me it was really that hate that like fuck, like I don't, like, why do you hate me? And then you feel it because it's like, then you start to feel like, especially the people that you're meeting, and they start to make you feel like you're feeling at home, that nobody likes you. And so it's like, I just hate the world then. I hate you too. Mm-hmm. And I think right there at that point, I didn't care about living or dying. And I think, that has always been my problem, right? Like, since that point on, like, I didn't care if I died. Okay. Like, it's okay. And then I guess that's when I started to look at life a lot differently. Like, it is what it is.
And you kind of had that sense. I mean, I don't remember at that point in time because I was going through my own stuff, juvenile hall and everything. Yeah. But I felt that, after I came home. Like, I would feel that sense. Like, yeah, I felt it once when you came to visit me when I was in prison. And it was just like, I always just imagined you as Ray Ray, like my little brother, reading books, very smart, and just, super intelligent and like safe. You know, like his fool's gonna be okay. Like everything is gonna like miss him. The gang stuff is gonna miss him. The drug stuff is gonna bypass him. But then when I saw you in that visit, I go, something is off right here. You know what I mean? I seen that carelessness. Like I don't give a fuck. You know? And I thought it was just gonna be like a moment in time. You know, but then I got to see it as you got older. And so that was like your caterpillar moment, right? When did you make it to the cocoon?
I would say at that last rehab.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So it was definitely right. It's like, okay, I knew something had to change, right? And I'm understanding, like, okay, everything in my life has always happened, but the only thing that stood constant, that was the most common thing in every situation in my life that sucked, was me. Everything,
Make
right?
sure you have that mic close to you.
Can you hear me now? And so it just feels like I'm about to
It's
start.
okay. No, you're not. You're not.
Can I twist it?
You had a nasty mind, homie.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
do, homie. And so it's like, it's definitely like, okay, I started to realize like every situation in my life where things went bad, the only thing that always stood the same was me.
Okay.
Like everybody was different.
You were the common
area,
denominator.
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that earlier when you were talking about you argued with this lady
Yeah.
at this rehab, and then you got to the next rehab, you argued with this
Yeah.
lady, and I was gonna say, but I didn't want to push it. Well, the common denominator was you.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
You know, and so that's when I realized like, okay, it's not, it's not the environment, it's not the people, it's not anything else. There's nothing in the world. It's just me. You know, I am the root cause of all my problems. And that's when I knew that I was the problem. And I accepted that I was finally the problem.
What was that like?
Because we realized, like, I know there's people out there that probably has the same experience, that they felt they were the problem, the biggest problem of their family, right? And I knew I was. And I accepted that at that point in time. And I knew, okay, now I need to change it.
Damn.
And I didn't know how.
Okay.
And then finally, there was this counselor, right? And this fool, we're out there talking, we're smoking cigarettes, we're playing pool. And, he comes out there and we're chopping it up. And I forgot what the conversation was. He goes, but all you fools are full of shit. I'm like, the fuck you mean? He goes, yeah, all you fools are in here talking that good talk. Y'all ain't really about anything. Y'all just fucking fakes and lames. And you guys ain't about shit and don't want to change. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, because none of you came in here and asked me for a sponsor or help you get a sponsor. And I'm like, motherfucker, we can't leave. All right, how the fuck am I supposed to get a sponsor if I can't even meet anybody? He goes, you haven't came to me and asked me. He goes, because if you really want to change, you're going to do anything and everything to change. And I was like, oh, shit. And I sat there and I'm like, damn, this was right. And then there was this other counselor, right, who, he was a cool ass dude. He was a crackhead, right? And it's crazy. Like a crackhead taught me how to live life. Like straight up. And it was very simple. It's a very simple thing. It's 3 things.
Tell me.
He says, if you change your thinking, your behavior will change. If your behavior changes, then your life will begin to change. And that stuck with me. And he would start every group the same way, saying that. And I'm like, if I change my thinking, my behavior will change. I'm like, but why can't I just change my behavior? What's wrong with my thinking? Oh, my thinking is me. That's what's wrong with me, right? My thinking affects my behavior. That's my behavior is a reaction to my thinking. And so I'm like, fuck. And if I want to get to the third part, I need to do the first, right?
Damn.
And so I started to look at things a little bit differently, remember? And then that's when I called you and you told me what to do and how to do it. And I started reading that every day. And then it's like I started reading a psalm and then a Proverbs every day. I'd go through it. And then it's like that's what I would do. That's how I'd start my morning. And then that's when I started the Good Morning Text.
Okay.
Right? And it's
Tell me about the Good Morning Text. I want the audience to hear.
So the Good Morning Text. So I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I wake up at 3. Sometimes I wake up at 4 or 5, whatever. Lately, I've been waking up late because, hey, I'm on a long vacation right now, paid. And shout out to Sadler Healthcare. And so definitely it's something that I do. So I get up in the morning, and before I get up to use the restroom or brush my teeth or to think of myself, I send a good morning. Good morning. I try to make it funny. I try to put something positive. It started off with like about 5 to 10 people, and then it grew up to like about 40.
Okay.
And then I send it to coworkers, old coworkers, bosses, old bosses, and family. And I send it because I want the first thing I do is to think of you guys. Think of making somebody else's day, sending some positivity.
Why do you think that's important?
Because I have to be selfless.
Selfless?
Selfless, yeah. And it's important because also too, why not wish somebody a good morning? The first thing you do. Why not? Why not do an act of kindness for somebody? Because I learned that just saying hi or good morning to somebody may stop that person from going off that ledge. You know? And if that's what that good morning text does or helps somebody recenter themselves, then that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I used to be really selfish and I didn't care about nobody. You know, and I still have moments like that. But I try to always come back, and I always do, you know, and I always have people who pull me back. But the thing is like, I need to also be that for somebody else, you know.
I love that. And we'll wrap with that, and we'll have more episodes, and we'll share more stories with each other. But I'm really grateful that you left me with that about being selfless, because that's something that I need as well. Because it's just, my life is better when I'm not thinking always about myself.
Well, you got to change that thinking,
right? And then I'm glad that we got to share that with the audience. But that's another thing too. Before we go, is you said if you change your thinking, your behavior will change, and if you change your behavior, then your life will change. Right? That's a good way to end the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.